Okay, so just sit yourself on your lift and then come into cross-legged position. Just have a little wriggle around, hold onto your knees and lift and open the chest. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Spend a moment just listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue. Listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. And then bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together, lengthen from the armpits into the elbows. And then allow your eyes to gently close. So long, slow, deep, deliberate in-breaths, followed by long, slow, deep, deliberate out-breaths. Just listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Fill in the lungs fully on both sides. Just observing how filling the lungs completely instantly brings energy into a tired body. Everyone was saying that they feel quite tired this morning. Getting out of bed was an effort, so make it worthwhile with focused deep inhalations. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. And hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area and release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards, and then as you open your eyes, raise your head. Just hold on to your knees, lift and open the chest, drive your spine upwards, take a good, strong, deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side, drawing the abdomen across, the ribs across, the shoulders across. Using the out breath to intensify the turn. and then come back to the center. Hold on to your knees, lift, open the chest, take a good deep inhalation, and then turn to the left side. Using the in-breath, draw in essential energy. The out-breath to accentuate and open up the turn. And then come back to the center. Just come off your lift and then get a couple of blocks to your side for sukhasana. So just have a couple of blocks by your hips, by one block and by each hip, and just have a little wriggle about. Just make sure that you feel like you're sitting really firmly and evenly. So sometimes if you move the buttock flesh apart a little, then you sit more firmly on the seat bones. Just hold onto your knees, lift and open your chest, and then reach underneath your knee, bend your elbow, hold onto your hip, and then turn the chest. So as you start to roll over, don't just think about lifting from the hip up into the armpit, because this left hip becomes light. So lengthen down from the armpit all the way down into the seat bone, so that rather than the right seat bone going heavy and the left seat bone becoming light, you try and even that out. So lengthen from that knee to that hip. So from the right knee to the left hip, and then reach up. Extend the palm up towards the right side. Keep your arms straight. And then lengthen over, trying to keep that left hip stretching away from the right hip, right knee. Left hip stretching away from the armpit. Breathing evenly. Turning the chest up to face the ceiling. Feeling that tremendous stretch, like that parsva stretch on the left side. And then come back to the center. Just hold on to your knees. Lift and open the chest, drive the spine upwards. And then just take hold underneath the left knee, bring the left elbow down onto the lift, and then just immediately go to the hips. They probably feel unlevel. So lengthen from the armpit down into that hip, from the left knee across to that right hip. So it's these diagonals, isn't it? They always help us to maintain levelness. With your right hand on your hip, turn the chest and then reach up, reach towards the ceiling. With the palm facing the left side, turn the chest, maintain that right seat bone, the levelness of that right seat bone. Press down into the right seat bone and turn. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Lengthen up into the little finger side of the hand. Spread the palm. Breathe. And then come back to the center. Just come down onto your knees and then sit back on your heels. So sit back on your heels and then just feel how there's that kind of length in both of your side ribs. Just lift and open the chest. Ensure that you're sitting level in line with your mat. Lift and open the chest. And then hinging at the hips, maintaining that connection between the seat bones and the heels if you can. Lengthening those side ribs that you've just extended and opened up. Lengthening the abdomen region. Come forwards. Just keeping the seat bone down. And then reach down. Breathing deeply, evenly into both lungs. Observe that as you inhale, the abdomen expands, and as you exhale, it contracts. So observe how in this pose of Adho Mukha Virasana, the abdomen is slightly constricted. But feel that expansion and contraction. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and we go into dog down, into supta baddhakonasana rather than dog down, just to keep that where you're just healing. Just let that heel gently come up into dog down or supta baddhakonasana. So as you come up into supta baddhakonasana, do you observe the hands, how they make contact with the floor? Just let all of your weight hit into the heel of the hand. And fairly quickly, that becomes really uncomfortable in your arms and definitely in your shoulders. So find the heels of the hands, push the heels of the hands consciously into the floor, and then spread into the palm of the hand. Press the palm of the hand down, press into the fingertips, and observe how the arms suddenly transform. The shoulder blade region releases and lengthens, and then lengthen from the armpits into the hips. Activate the legs, tightening the kneecaps, pressing the thigh muscle deeply into the bone, turning the front of the thigh muscle inwards. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Maintaining that conscious connection between the palms of the hands and the fingers, as well as the heel of the hand. So it shouldn't feel like the heels of the hands are heavy at all. It should feel like the whole of the hand bears the weight of the arms. Step your feet forwards. Just come up into a standing position. And then get your blocks for your hands for half uttanasana. And then have your feet as wide apart as your mat with your toes turning inwards. So your big toes are closer together than your heels. Lift and open the chest. Squeeze the elbows towards each other, and then lift that abdomen area. And keep it lifted as you hinge at the hips. Keep that area lifted, that abdomen lifted, and then find the blocks. So keep that length in the abdomen. Lengthen the abdomen to the collarbone, to the chin. Activate the legs. Tighten your kneecaps. Press the kneecaps into the sockets. Be on fingertips. So tighten those kneecaps, Ruth. Can you tighten your kneecaps a little more? Turn the thighs inwards, lift the seat bones up towards the ceiling, and then project the chin and the chest forwards. If you can go down any lower, then do. If you can find the floor without losing that access to the legs and to the abdomen and to the spine, then go down to the floor. Breathe evenly into both lungs. Observe how each inhalation brings in valuable energy. Lengthen the abdomen. If you can go down a little lower, then hold on to the backs of your heels, bending the elbows out to the sides, and then draw in your body between the two legs. And then release your ankles. Lift the chest, bring your hands underneath the shoulders, and then come back up into Tadasana. And then just stand in Tadasana, big toes touching, your heels are touching. Lift and open the chest again, lifting that abdominal region upwards. Breathing evenly. Feeling the expansion of the abdomen, the in-breath, and the contraction of the abdomen with the out-breath. So focus your breath down into the abdomen, the samanic region. It's a grounding breath. Bring your arms out to the sides, in towards the chest. Step or jump nice and wide. Turn to the right side for trikonasana. And then come down. So I'm purposely not giving you a lot of instruction so that you can apply the instructions that we've been working on this week. So find those rotations. Turn the chest upwards. Lengthen out from that inner groin region. Lengthen out of the feet, up into the legs, into the hips, up into the spine, out into the arms. Draw in deep breaths, feeling the expansion and the contraction of the abdomen. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, swap the feet around and the legs around for the left side. And then come over, find the shin. Find your rotations. Look look up if you can. Breathing into the abdomen. Are you okay there, Andrew? Have you pulled a muscle? Just do Adho Mukha Virasana if you feel like you've pulled a muscle. You okay there? Just give me a little thumbs up sideways. Okay. And then reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet together. Good. Okay, so we're gonna do ardha chandrasana. So you might want to do this against a wall, or you might want to just do it in the middle of the room. You might want a block for your hand, so a block either way up. So I'm going to have it that way to start off with. So we're going to go nice and wide with our legs. Now, Andrew, I think you might have pulled a muscle in your inner groin, I think. So for you, you can just do supta baddhakonasana if it's feeling strong on your legs, or just make sure when you come into trikonasana that you move that front leg forward of the back leg. So just accommodate your hips. So go nice and wide with your legs, and then come over into trikonasana on the right side. Breathe evenly. Fill in the abdomen. Draw your attention to the abdominal breath. Drop your top hand onto your hip, bend the front leg, and then hop in. Bring your hand onto the block on the little toe side of the foot, and then, if you couldn't balance, come up, straighten the standing leg, open the hips, draw the chest to face the front, turn the top shoulder back towards the wall behind you, and if you can, reach up. Breathing evenly, breathing abdominally. And then come back down into trikonasana. And then come back up to the center, and then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into Tadasana, just observe your energy. And then we'll do the other side. So you might not necessarily need the block. So sometimes using the block makes me go a bit wobbly. So it's useful to have the block there if you need it, but you don't necessarily have to have it. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet apart. Turn your right toes in, your left leg and foot all the way out, and then turn the chest to face the front, and then come into trikonasana. Just spend a little time in your trikonasana. Breathe in abdominally. Drop the top hand, bend that front leg, hop in, Bring your hand onto the little toe side of the foot, about a foot away from the foot, and then lift up. Turn the chest, straighten the leg, turn the chest. And then if you can, reach up. Breathe abdominally. And then come down back into just a really good trikonasana. And then reach up, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together, come back into Tadasana. Breathing evenly, breathing abdominally. And then come down onto your knees and go into supta baddhakonasana if you're just to avoid doing dog down again. Bring the palms flat onto the floor. Step back, turn your toes under, have your feet hip width apart, and then come up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in abdominally. And then come down onto your knees, sit back on your heels and stretch forward into Adho Mukha virasana. Keeping that abdomen area broad and long, breathing into the abdomen. And then sit back on your heels and come down onto your back into supta baddhakonasana. So using the straight line of the floor to align the spine, rest your hands on your abdomen and just feel the natural rise and flow of the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. So the saminic breath, the abdominal breath, is grounding rather than as deeply energizing as the pranic breath. Just observing the rise and the fall of the abdomen. And then draw your knees together, have your knees together, your feet apart for a moment. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then sit yourself up into a cross-leg position. Just get your folded blanket and you're going to sit on the folded blanket. You might need a belt handy and you might need a couple of blocks, so have them where you can reach them. So we can do upavistha konasana. So sit yourself on the lift of the blanket and then bring your legs nice and wide. Try and roll onto the front tip of the seat bones and then extend your legs out. Just have your hands at the sides of the hips and then lift and open the chest. So breathe abdominally. So especially with the in-breath, we observe that the abdomen draws towards the spine. So lengthen from the inner groin into the inner heel, rotating the legs inwards, rotating the inner knees down towards the floor. Just get hold of your belt, hold it so that it's kind of, your arms are shoulder width apart, and then raise your arms over your head. If you haven't got a belt, Andrew, it doesn't matter, you can just raise your arms up like that. So raise your arms up and over your head. It feels nice to bring the arms a little bit wider apart. Lift from the hips into the armpits, into the hands. Breathe in evenly, push in from the hips into the heels, rotating the legs inwards. So it's a little bit like the first stage of practised baddhakonasana, isn't it? The legs are wide and the spine is extending up and away from the hips. In practised baddhakonasana, your arms would be there. So bring the arms there, hold onto the belt, try and pull the belt apart. Lift up into the chest, lift the abdomen up to the diaphragm up to the collarbone. And then release. So sometimes in practised baddhakonasana, it's difficult to get this lift in the spine. In upavistha konasana, it's a little easier to get that lift up into the spine, isn't it? So you might want to just stay at this stage, Andrew, if you've had the kind of a strain of your inner groin through some of those poses, I would stay at this stage. Maybe just continue with your arms raising up. If you haven't got a belt handy, you can always just hold a block above your head, trying to tear the block apart. So really activate those legs, lengthen from the inner groin to the inner heel, and then rotate the legs consciously inwards like you're doing Tadasana with the legs. You're turning them from the little toe side to the big toe side. You're drawing the inner knee down towards the floor. And then bring your hands into onto the blocks in front. Push the hands down and then lift. And really, again, that practised baddhakonasana lift of the chest. And then just a little bit at a time, come forwards and keep that abdominal region lengthening. Now, if you've got a bad back, just come forwards just an inch or two. Don't go forwards too far, but lengthen the hips into the heels, tadasanize the legs, press down onto the blocks so that you can maintain this length. Breathe abdominally. you can come forwards a little more, then do. Breathe in abdominally. So this is a similar shape to when you bring your head down to the floor in prasva to baddhakonasana, isn't it? Keep reaching forwards if you can. Lifting the abdomen, lifting the chest. Breathe in abdominally. Smile. And then just start to walk the hands back. Stay on the lift. And then bring your feet in for baddhakonasana. Just hold onto your knees, lift the chest, broaden the collarbone, gather in the shoulder blades together, hold onto the big toes if you can. Just breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, feeling that abdominal breath. Lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. Bring your left hand onto the inside of the right foot and then turn to the right side. Parsva baddhakonasana. And then come back to the center, hold on to the big toes, lift. Open the chest. And then bring your right hand onto the top of the left foot and turn. Breathe in abdominally. And then come back to the center, hold on to the big toes, lift the chest. Lengthen from the inner groin to the inner knees, to the outer knees. And the outer knees in towards the feet and in towards the hips. And then just bend your legs inwards and then stretch your legs away. And then just come into cross legs. So sitting on the blanket still, just hold onto your knees and raise your head. So see if for a moment you can just bring the energy of the in-breath from the perineum all the way up to the collarbone, and from the collarbone with the out-breath all the way down to the perineum. So it's just an extension of the action of the pranic breath, the apanic breath. Just keeping your eyes fixed on a single spot. We're going to just do an interrupted Viloma in breath. So the interrupted in-breath is where you breathe from the perineum and then maybe go up to the diet on up. It's like you're walking up a ladder. So you breathe in a little and then stop. Breathe in a little more and then hold. Breathe in a little more and then stop. And then breathe in a little more until you continue that way until the lungs feel full. So there's no grip. There's nothing should be constricting. It's just a suspension of the breath. So when you're ready, take a normal out breath. Take an apanic out breath even. And then begin to interrupt the in-breath. Walking up the ladder. And then with the out breath, you just slide all the way down the ladder to the bottom. And then continual cycles. Between each incremental breath, just feel that you kind of sit in the breath, just letting the breath become really soft, letting the hold become really soft. And then just breathe out and then just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Just observe the energy of the breath. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift Mula Bandha. And then we'll do normal in-breath from the perineum to the collarbone, and then interrupt the out-breath until the lungs are empty. So normal inhalations, interrupted exhalations. One more cycle. And then bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Release Mula Bandha, release Jalandhara Bandha. Just feel the energy that flows through the blood. And then bring yourself down into Shavasana. So blanket for your head. Initially, just come into supta baddhakonasana. Just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. Just holding onto the abdomen, feeling the rise and the fall of the abdomen. So supta baddhakonasana for just grounding the body and the energy. And then draw your knees together and straighten your legs out along the mat. Just have a quick look. Make sure that you're in a good straight line. And then just gently allow the body to release into the floor. So unhooking the muscles of the arms and of the legs. So as you gently, gradually release and surrender into the floor, perhaps you observe your energy that rises to the top of the skin. That feeling of tingly lightness. Just use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that energy evenly throughout the body. basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of sirvasana. Bend your knees, pull your knees in towards your chest. So a little rock from top to bottom, from side to side. And then roll over onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through the nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy, that the extensions, the forward bends, the twists, the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, just allow your eyes to open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've just stretched yourself out a little and given yourself some good grounding energy for the rest of your day. So thank you very much for joining me.